Hello, Robert Wallace here. Hey, check it out. All your dreams come true. What do I mean by that? Well, if you want something, there's no reason why you can't have it. There's no reason why it can't manifest. In fact, I believe that it will manifest if you are going about it the right way. So, the first thing that you got to do, if you want all of your dreams to come true, is to know what you want. What is the dream that you want to come true? What does it look like? Now, this is actually this is the heavy lifting right here. And the funny thing is, it's kind of like you've heard of Nikola Tesla. It's said that he's a great inventor. He invented this free energy and all this sort of technology that was actually destroyed and suppressed. And he's actually one of the great inventors of our time. And he would go through his mind in his imagination, and he would put these inventions together in his mind. He'd put the bolts there. He would put everything together through visualization, and if something didn't work right there in his mind, he could start to work out the solution, and he could start to find a workaround. So now when he's done, he's out of his visualization, out of working it through in his head. Now, whenever he puts his hand to the materials, he gets his result. So it said that he did that with everything, and he always had it worked out ahead of time. Now, that's great. How do you apply that? Well, the idea here is that most of that lifting wasn't done necessarily on paper, making countless charts and graphs. The mind is amazing. It has the capacity and capability to hold concepts and feelings and ideas here, and integrate them according to the will and the navigation of your attention, so that you get a product that you can then articulate in one solid way that represents all of those efforts. Well, what if getting what you wanted and most of the pulling of that in was a matter of getting clear? Without a vision, the people perish. Now, when we're talking about a vision, presumably we're talking about a clear vision. We're not talking about a sketchy, staticky vision, because even that as a vision, yeah, great, get a staticky reality and tell me how far that took you. You want a really clear one. If you want what you want to make sure you're clear about what you want, and you're clear about what it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, what it tastes like, how it's going to affect you, its role that it's going to play with you, what you like about it, what you really like about it, what you don't like about it, what you really don't like about it, for instance. Those are some. Now, in the getting clear process, you can look at the negative characteristics in order to get clear about what you do want. But generally, you're not going to want to concentrate on what you don't want. That's obviously going to go against your advantages. You can use lists. You can use pictures and that you draw. You can use vision boards. There's a lot of charts and different frameworks that you can use in order to get clear about what it is specifically that you want. Thing is that most people know they want something. They know they want a car, they know they want an opportunity, but they don't really know which one. And the thing is, a million of them pass by us every day. You want a job? Well, here, go work at McDonald's. Well, I don't want that job. Well, you didn't say you didn't want that job. You said you wanted a job, and now you got it, and you don't want it. What do you want? And that's the thing, is a lot of people play this ping pong game back and forth, where they'll say, well, I don't know. I'll know it when I see it. You can know it when you see it for 10 years down the road and then still never actually get it. But you can actually know it ahead of time, and then when you see it, you recognize it, because then you will actually know it when you see it, and you get it within a couple days. So there's a big difference between thinking that you know what you want, actually being clear about it. It definitely helps things manifest quickly. It doesn't just help you recognize them so that you see where they always were, but it literally will bring things to you. Because now you've positioned yourself. You said, God, this is what I really want. Great. You signed your name on a line. You've made yourself a still target, because usually you're back and forth. You made yourself a still target so you can be blessed. Instead of saying, I'm over here, I want some of this, I want some of this, I want some of this. Okay, this is a doubting man. Let him not think that he shall receive anything. Pick one thing and get it. And you know what? Once you get it, if you want to make a change, if you want something else, go ahead and do it again. Do the exercises again, and get clear about what you want now. And you'll find that you're only getting what you're thinking about. And if if you get something that you don't like, or if you're surrounded by things you don't like, you've only got yourself to blame. And that's actually a really good thing, because just as much as you're to blame for the bad, it represents the power that you have for the good. So you're going to always want to be allowing yourself to grow the ideal in your head. So let's say you have a long-term ambition, something that you want down the road. Well, keep adding to it. Keep clarifying it. Keep elaborating on it. Because what's going to happen is, through your experiences and while you're thinking about this and keep holding this goal of one day this event happening or this happening in your life, what eventually is going to happen is, you're going to start growing. The universe is going to start dragging you through circumstances and through the people and the events that you need to have under your belt, you need to have an understanding of, to make you ready for just that thing. So, by the time that you get to where you're at, you're going to know, I want it to be within the context of a medical society. Well, several years ago when you started it, all you knew is that you wanted to, have this sort of, make this sort of contribution, or make this sort of, statement or whatever. And now you know exactly where you want to do it. Well, that comes through continuing to clarify. Don't be afraid to add to it, but make sure that as you're adding to it, it's what you want. And then next time you think about it with all these details put into it. And the other thing, when it comes to making all your dreams come true, you want to get clear about what you want. You want to use lists. You want to draw pictures. You want to make vision boards. You want to be allowing yourself to grow it as you go, and to remember to keep bringing it up in your head and cultivating it. But you want to pursue spiritual things. What does this mean? Well, put simply, pursuing spiritual things means pursuing spiritual ends. So if I want, if you want a thing, that's fine. But if your mindset is generally carnal and secular in nature, and you're only thinking about things you want to attract, you're going to miss the entire point of this entire thing. And I say missing the entire point because, A, you get what you want by being happy first. Okay? This is more of a spiritual, mental, emotional, intellectual. These are sort of properties that you're taking care of. You're cultivating your self-esteem. You're working on your perception, your paradigm of the world. You're clarifying your understanding about God and the nature of prayer. You're wanting joyfulness. You're wanting what's sustainable, what's long-term, what it's going to happen to me after I die. And when you start to look at life from that deeper point of view, then all of a sudden you transcend this material world, and from that vantage point, from that height of high thought, these sorts of physical things that you were wanting before, they come about much more easily. Because when you transcend a spiritual idea, it's a lot more difficult to transcend a spiritual idea or a belief system that was holding you back than to transcend a broken dresser and, kick it to the curb and move on. It's more difficult to do that, but the results are longer lasting, and they actually will stick with you forever and help you to manifest, help you cultivate your dreams and manifest these things, no matter what you dream about, from now until you're 99, 110. So, and then when you're out of the body and you're actually moving on in your spiritual life, these are the things that are going to stick with you. Not the car that you drove, not the money that you had, and the richest man in the graveyard concept. You're actually going to become in a glorified version of the character that you're cultivating right now. And if it's a good character, it's going to serve you. If it's not, now, this does go down into a spiritual path, and maybe all you want is just to manifest things. Well, you can use these tactics to do that. I just recommend that when you see the next step is get clear, work on your inner man, that you don't overlook that as some fluffy extra, but you realize that eventually every master realizes that this is the direction that it takes. I didn't realize that I was going to go in that direction when I started this, but I figured out, hey, this is a thought life, and everything I had to start taking care of in order to get great results and refining it meant that I was actually working on an inner person. And I did it anyway, because that's what all the material said I had to do. And you know what? it turns out that that was the greatest gift I got out of this. That is the thing that, if everything else falls apart, will allow you to rebuild. That'll allow you to be happy, you know. So that's how you make your dreams come true. So get in there, get clear, work on your iterations, and keep your pursuits, your spiritual aim high. And then whatever you can visualize can come to pass.